What is up, Impact Squad? Let us talk about a mutant you never heard of, the mutant known as Synch. This character I enjoyed back then, and he didn't get a lot of recognition back then. He didn't appear in the Generation X TV show, and yes, they did have a Generation X TV show. He didn't appear in that, and he made like a small cameo, Elisa's name, and I want to say X2 when Mystique was looking through William Stryker's file. But before we get started, smash that subscribe button and smash that like button. I also want you to hit the notification bell so you can get my updates whenever I update. And also, I want you to post your comments below if you have any questions about Synch, or you just want to have a full-blown conversation with me with Synch. Just post it down low and we will discuss that. Everett Thomas, the mutant known as Synch, first appeared in X-Men Volume 2, Issue 36 and 37. The creators of Synch is Scott Lobdell and Chris Blanchlow. Everett Thomas joins Generation X when a race known as the Phalanx invaded Earth, assimilating the X-Men and attempting to wipe out the new generations of mutants. Synch ends up syncing with Banshee and using his powers to defend himself against the Phalanx, but ended up shattering all the windows and getting the attention of the local police, who was also under the Phalanx control. With the help of Banshee, Sabretooth, Emma Frost, and Jubilee, Synch survives the encounter. But when Emma Frost saw Synch with Jubilee using her powers better than she uses them, he was automatically enrolled in the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. She was, as you could say, impressed. You see, Synch releases a bio-aura that can replicate any superpower being in his immediate vicinity, and sometimes he can duplicate the power itself. Synch also has greater mastery over his mutant abilities, displaying more control over whatever power he copied than that person. One instance is when he replicated fellow Generation X teammate Chamber power. He was able to fly, something Chamber himself was not able to do. Synch is also able to use his aura to track other mutants. Synch power does have some restrictions on him. You see, he cannot duplicate pure physical abilities or abilities that exceed his physical makeup. Also, once a person leaves his vicinity, he loses that power. And if they are too far away, he only gains a portion of that power. Now, I want to talk about some interesting facts that you probably did not know about Synch. You see, Synch was born in St. Louis, Missouri, but in Spider-Man issue 437, he successfully synced with Spider-Man. It has been theorized that in time, Synch will be able to retain all the powers he replicate permanently, which effectively will make him a Omega level mutant. This was seen in House of M's storyline, where he retained the powers that he had copied, and he also became a junior member of S.H.I.E.L.D. called the Hellions. During one of M-Play's attacks, M-Play is a vampire-like mutant. Synch ends up becoming one of his thrall, becoming an enemy of Generation X. And man, let me tell you, this guy put hands, powers, phase, tapers, whatever you want to call on his teammates. He gave them fits when he was a thrall. Because being a thrall, he had no restraint on his power, and none of the tactics that they normally would do worked on Synch. That story arc is one of my favorite story arcs of all time. Easily, it's in the top 10. Synch was also unknowingly a source of romantic tension among his female teammates. You see, because of his close friendship with Jubilee, she ended up developing romantic feelings for him, something that was not reciprocated because he was unaware she felt like that. But on the other hand, Synch had a major crush on Monet. They had an on-again and off-again relationship. This lasted up until his death, at the hands of Adrienne Frost, the sister of Emma Frost, who planted bombs throughout the school. Synch was sync with her aura, but he can only synchronize a portion of her powers, because the reason why was because she was too far away. And as I stated earlier, when you are too far away, if he can synchronize with you, he can only synchronize with a portion of that power. So he used what portion that he synchronized, which was her super strength, and he ended up saving the non-mutant students in the school, and effectively getting killed because the bomb went off. I should say at one point, Synch was revived again, and I want to say the X-Force story arc, where he became part of Celine's techno army, where he ends up attacking his former school. As of recently, Synch is one of the mutants who gets revived in the House of X storyline on Kuroka. Now what I'll tell you is that if you want to know Synch or want to see him at his best, I would recommend you to read issue 14 through 16. That story arc is really entertaining. It's when In-Play takes control of Synch, and like I said, he put them powers on him, them tapers on him. Like he beat the brakes off of his teammates. Another issue I would probably say, you probably honestly have to read Generation X in general, because like I said, he doesn't have a lot going on with him, because it's the 90s, and the 90s had a plethora of heroes and villains, but then they started picking and choosing who was popular, I should say they were picking and choosing, but fans was picking who was more popular. He wasn't one of the popular ones. But since his revival in Kuroka, I do hope that they utilize Synch a little bit more than they have in the past, or I shouldn't say have in the past, but not kill him off, because he's gotten killed in House of M. He's gotten killed in every single storyline except maybe one story arc, which is a non-canon part where him and Jubilee get together. But in Age of Apocalypse, he was killed. Also, House of M killed. It just seems like in every single universe, he sacrifices his life to protect his teammates. And I'm hoping with his revival, they don't do that and focus more on building more of his character and more of his powers, and seeing more of what he can do. Because I want to see what other non-mutant character could he absorb, like copy. We know he could copy Spider-Man's, so would he be able to copy Black Panther's, even though Black Panther has vibranium, so that might be a little difficult. But I'm going to end this video here, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it to the end of this video, I do appreciate you, and I am going to check you guys later. Peace out.